Titan ratification vote. Will the lockout end, or will members return to the picket line?
We are not changing where we stand today.
Aging border technology. Union leaders warn delays like this don't have to happen. And sentence handed down to Freedom Convoy organizers.
CTV News with Stephanie Mazzotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us both on TV and radio. Stephanie is off this week. I'm Michelle Maluske. A warm welcome at the White House as Canada's Prime Minister sits down for high-level talks on trade and tariffs. It's Mark Carney's second visit to the West Wing on the invitation of the U.S. President, coming as Donald Trump threatens new tariffs if re-elected. CTV's Mike LeCouture is in Washington with a look at what Canada came away with.
With a firm but friendly handshake, Prime Minister Mark Carney arrived at the White House for his working lunch with U.S. President Donald Trump.
We're going to be talking about trade. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things.
In a 32-minute Oval Office meeting, Trump called Carney a great man several times, adding he's confident they'd work through the issues preventing a deal on tariffs.
He's a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants. And I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially, and I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
He's a great man, and you want to do a deal with Canada. Why aren't you?
Because I want to be a great man, too.
Trump says the two countries are in a natural business conflict because Canada and the U.S. want to make similar things on both sides of the border.
It's a tough situation because we want to make our cars here. At the same time, we want Canada to do well making cars. So we're working on formulas, and I think we'll get there.
Carney said the two countries are competing, not in conflict.
We are the largest foreign investor in the United States. $500 billion in the last 5 years alone, probably $8 trillion in the next 5 years if we get the agreement that we expect to get.
Following the meeting, the minister in charge of Canada-U.S. trade updated reporters on how it went.
It concluded with the President and the Prime Minister directing us, me and my colleagues, and the President, his cabinet secretaries who were there, Ambassador Greer, Secretary Lutnick, and others, to continue the conversation and to quickly land deals that will bring, we think, greater certainty in areas where the principal areas would be steel and aluminum and energy.
In a sign that work will be continuing, Dominic LeBlanc is staying in D.C. for the next 24 hours for more meetings. And this evening, Prime Minister Carney is having a working dinner with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Washington.
Cross-border trade is vital to our economy, but what happens when that trade relies on a potentially outdated computer system? As CTV's Sanjay Maru reports, the Union for Canadian Border Officers say a recent system failure is a warning sign about deeper risks.
What's going on?
You're looking at transport trucks destined for Windsor stretched for kilometers last week after a systems outage at the Canada Border Services Agency brought commercial processing to a crawl. For nearly 2 days, border officers were forced to process drivers manually, leading to delays of up to 38 hours at some crossings. Union leaders say the outage didn't just slow traffic, it may have weakened Canada's first line of defense.
Anything that is a flag or a lookout that we normally would have gotten through that system, in this case, since it took a couple days for the system to come back, we would only be getting those in many cases once the importer of the truck had already come into Canada, which is, of course, a concern.
The CBSA says the outage began September 28th during system maintenance, not a cyber attack, and that operations are now back to normal. But the union says the agency's core computer network dates back to the 1990s, making it prone to outages.
Years ago, when we had the officers in place to do the work properly, the situation would not have been nearly as bad as it was.
With shipments available.
For trucking companies, even a short shutdown can ripple through the supply chain.
The most important thing is communication. As long as you're communicating with your customer in real time and you're letting them know about the delays so that they can plan ahead, that's the most important thing. The key is to not procrastinate on the situation, to attack it right away.
Matic Logistics Solutions says teamwork is key, building partnerships with other carriers to keep shipments moving when their own trucks are tied up.
Let's say I had a truck, it was going to London to pick up. Let's say it broke down. I'd have some like GTA guys I know. I'd be like, hey, you got a truck available. I got this pickup here. Can you just bring it, do this one for me? I'll help you clear the load, whatever it is.
The customs union says this outage shows how border operations have become too dependent on automation and not enough on people.
We need to get back into the business of interaction with importers, interaction with travelers. That's how we keep Canadian communities safe.
The CBSA says it is preparing a full report for the public safety minister, explaining what caused the outage and how it plans to prevent another one. In Windsor, Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
Workers locked out at Windsor's Titan Tool and Die voted on a contract today after almost two months without work. Joining me now with more on this development is CTV's Robert Lothian. Robert, what was the result of that vote today?
Yeah, well, Michelle, this is an offer that Unifor Local 195's bargaining team has previously rejected. But after 8 weeks on the picket line, the union brought that offer to its members today and voted on it. It included a long list of concessions, and the workers, they were 100% against it.
This company is not going to get us to bend the knee. We're very strong. We're stronger by the day, by the week. If they think at some point we're going to go back with concessions, they have another thing coming. It's just not going to happen.
Unifor held a meeting today to present workers with the offer and update them on the state of contract talks and other legal matters. According to the union, the offer contains 15 pages of concessions, including losses of benefits, pensions, overtime, and wage increases. The union represents 27 active workers at the plant after layoffs earlier this year. On 3 occasions, the courts have stopped workers from blocking transport trucks leaving and entering the employer's facilities. Unifor Local 195 President Emil Nabout says these concessions are beyond unreasonable, and Titan has yet to present a reasonable offer.
They can't cry wolf at this time and tell us this is the only way they could survive by taking money or gain we made over the year. So this is not something the union is willing to do.
In terms of next steps, Nabout says they are in wait-and-see mode. Unifor is demanding Titan Tool and Die return to the bargaining table, and in the meantime, they will be back on the picket line. Titan Tool and Die, as well as lawyers, have not responded to requests for comment. Michelle.
All right, thanks so much for that important update tonight. Robert Lothian reporting for us this evening in the newsroom. Well, that rain has pushed all that heat away, and I am loving it. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now with our first look at the forecast.
Good evening, Michelle. Good evening, folks. Yes, indeed, cooler air mass, cold front the leading edge, introducing it late last night into this morning. Windy and gray, and that's the situation we're in right now. There's still some vicinity shower activity. It's a broad sweeping front that's working its way east towards the Atlantic coast. Over the next 24 hours, we will be in a clearing and some sustained sunshine, but the cold air mass is here to stay, and temperatures won't be in the upper 20s. I'll break down what you need to know as we head towards Thanksgiving Monday. And of course, we'll see if the turkeys will be celebrated under fair weather conditions. That's coming up. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk.
Okay, thanks so much, Gary. Windsor police are investigating an armed robbery at a business in the city's West End. Police say on October 1st, a suspect armed with a firearm and a rock approached a store employee in the 300 block of Wyandotte Street West. He demanded money. The suspect then fled on foot, heading west on Wyandotte and then south on Church Street. No one was hurt. However, at the time of the incident, police say the suspect was wearing a black hoodie, black pants, a navy sweater covering his face, black and white Nike shoes, and a red backpack worn on his chest. Anyone in the area is asked to review dash cam or doorbell footage for evidence related to this case. Now, unrelated to that, police have issued an arrest warrant for 28-year-old Woodman Sharma. He's wanted for drug trafficking and dangerous driving. Windsor Police Diggs Unit officers say Sharma fled at a high rate of speed in a busy LaSalle parking lot last month. A search of a home nearby later turned up Percocet, oxycodone, and cash. The drugs are valued at nearly $7,000. Sharma is described as a 5'3" Middle Eastern man with a slender build and black hair. Anyone with information is asked to contact Windsor Police or Crime Stoppers. Police are still investigating a threat-related incident directed at Windsor Regional Hospital shortly after 4 a.m. today. The hospital, we're told, immediately initiated lockdown procedures as officers searched the property before lifting it. The Major Crimes Unit has now taken over the investigation. Windsor Police and hospital officials aren't offering any additional information. As the strike by support staff at St. Clair College continues, the ripple effects are being felt unevenly across campus. Some students, particularly those with disabilities, say they're being left behind. They told our Bob Belichico the work stoppage has disrupted the critical supports they rely on to succeed.
If you really cared about the students like everybody claims they do, you'd find a better way.
About 10,000 full-time support staff at colleges across the province have been on strike since September 11th, battling the College Employer Council for better wages, benefits, and job security. Students with invisible disabilities say they are caught in the crossfire and feeling the brunt of the disruption. Montana Hanona no longer has access to the specialized supports she needs.
Usually the accommodation requires me to write it in student services, where I can sit there and have a canceling noise headphones along with other students that have the same.
The second-year paralegal student says she used to get an extra 30 minutes to write a test or exam with breaks in the controlled and supervised area.
The whole idea was supposed to be a room that is quiet and has less students. It was full of students because they have to combine students from different campuses in one room.
Hanona can no longer rely on printing services or the availability of quiet rooms. Classmate Rebecca Lampman feels IT support is unreliable, and now parking is an issue.
Even though we're paying for parking here, we now would have to pay for parking down there. We'd have to, go right in a building that we're not familiar with, that we don't know.
Both students say they've paid for college services they are no longer getting, and they know a refund is unlikely.
We do pay for these services through our tuition. So when you're calling for assistance, it's delayed response because they don't have staff there to help. And it's affecting our academic success in studies.
In a statement, the college says, "We are aware that there are impacts of the strike on our students. Individual student needs require a deeper understanding, and we are working with our student government to serve the needs of our students." Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Changes are coming to your recycling collection. Starting in the new year, residents will be using larger rolling blue carts. It's a new system that aims to make recycling simpler and more consistent right across Ontario. CTV's Chris Campbell joins me now on what to expect and when.
That's right, Michelle. Alongside the new green bins set to hit the curb soon, residents will start noticing fresh and larger blue bins appearing in driveways over the coming weeks. These changes are part of a major overhaul to the recycling system, now funded and managed by producers instead of municipalities, and they're bringing significant shifts to how Ontarians will sort and recycle their waste.
Blue recycling carts have already started rolling out across Windsor, Essex, and will continue to do so over the next several weeks, part of a shift to a new automated collection system that will officially launch January 1st, 2026.
I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle in the beginning. I really do, especially with organics coming out kind of the same time of year.
The change means no more sorting. Everything goes into one cart, and collection will happen every other week using a hydraulic arm.
It's a large bin, but for some it may not be large enough. And that was a concern I was hearing from a lot of our residents is, well, what if I need more? And so you cannot bundle boxes and put it beside the recycling because it won't get picked up.
According to LaSalle Mayor Crystal Maluske, each household will receive one large bin with extra carts available for purchase if needed.
I think it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for all of us. us. It'll take us time, but we're not reinventing the wheel. This is being done across the province, and so we're just a little late to the party, and we'll get there, and we'll figure it out too in Windsor, Essex.
And come January, residents will be able to recycle more items than ever before, including coffee cups, toothpaste tubes, ice cream tubs, and deodorant. In an email to CTV News, the CEO of the company responsible for the new blue bin system, Circular Materials, said these carts will help simplify recycling, reduce litter, and provide increased storage capacity. Alan Langdon went on to say the unified material list and new materials included are a great example of how extended producer responsibility advances innovation and improves environmental outcomes.
I think it's a great idea.
Some residents say they welcome the convenience.
A lot of people on my street are older people, and they don't like lugging these cans. So if it's a bin where they've got a good size handle that they can roll, it would be a really good idea.
The paper, the plastic, the glass, everything is in one bin. So very nice and easy.
I would suggest probably not using them until the new year. And come the new year, I believe there's a small transition period where they'll allow some of that other recycling, but it sounds like they're going to be pretty strict from the get-go, which is you need to use the new bin.
And Michelle, that new system applies to all municipalities across Ontario, meaning no matter where you go, the same materials are being recycled in the same manner starting in the new year. Circular Materials plans to launch a province-wide education campaign later this fall to help residents prepare.
All right, thanks so much for that. Chris Campbell reporting in the newsroom tonight. And it is our question of the day. Do you like the incoming recycling program with one large rolling blue cart? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if you think all Diageo brands should be removed from LCBO shelves if the company proceeds with closing its Amherstburg bottling facility. Out of 800 votes, 69% say yes. Chatham-Kent Council, meantime, is saying no to 2 proposed wind farms. Chatham-Kent councillors rejected 2 wind power proposals Monday night, citing a lack of sufficient information to address water safety concerns and opposing a recent provincial reversal on an environmental assessment. EDF Power Solutions' Botany Wind Project was proposing a wind farm with a total capacity of 100 megawatts, produced from 15 to 18 wind turbines northwest of Ridgetown. Capstone Infrastructure's Crossfield Wind Farm proposed another one northeast of Ridgetown with a capacity of 110 megawatts coming from, again, 15 to 18 turbines. Meanwhile, Chatham-Kent Council also learned the long-discussed Community Hub project is expected to come in under the original budget. Councillors learned last night the recommended bid for the Community Hub came in roughly $4 million under budget. The proposal from Fortis Construction Group of Tecumseh totals just over $39 million, including contingencies. Council is expected to vote on awarding the tender October 20th. If approved, construction would begin this December at the former Sears building in downtown Chatham, with completion targeted for early 2028. The new Community Hub will bring together the Civic Centre, Public Library, and the museum all under one roof. Coming up, 2 years after Hamas unleashed terror, families of the victims speak out. Their stories of grief, resilience, and life forever changed. And Convoy consequences. When we return, the Ottawa Freedom Convoy leaders learn their fate. And tomorrow, honors for 2 physicians and recognition for Windsor Regional Hospital. Plus, we hear from a local family touched by organ donation. That's all tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. 2 years ago today, Hamas launched the deadliest attack on Jewish people since the Holocaust. 1,200 people died, including 7 Canadians. The trauma of that day and what's followed still echoes for both Jewish and Muslim Canadians. CTV's Heather Wright speaks with 2 families about how their lives are forever changed.
For many, there is a before October 7th, 2023 and an after. 731 days since life changed forever.
I couldn't do anything physically. I was broken.
Rayut Kadar grew up on a kibbutz in Israel and moved with her family to Canada 7 years ago.
Peace was a big part of my life growing up, and talking about peace and learning Arabic at school and like talking about sharing future. And I don't know that that's something that will happen when I get to see it.
Her family has experienced anti-Semitism since the war in Gaza began. A swastika was drawn on her son's computer at school, and her family tries to avoid speaking Hebrew in public.
Why does people associate me with the Israeli government? All of my Israeli friends who live in Toronto, none of them support the government.
For Noura Sharab, each day begins preparing for the worst.
Every single day you wake up, you check your phone and check if your family's alive.
Sharab lives in Mississauga, but has aunts, uncles, and cousins in Gaza. Last week, she says 12 relatives were killed while waiting for food.
They were standing in line and they were attacked.
Leaders are meeting in Egypt this week, negotiating the terms of a possible ceasefire. Sharab says the plan put forward by U.S. President Donald Trump isn't perfect, but it's something.
The first thing that is at the top priority for anybody in Gaza right now is the stopping of the bombs that is raining down on them. The fact that they don't know when the next safe space is going to be.
As part of these ceasefire talks, Hamas has said it is willing to release all remaining hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. But there are other parts of the American plan that could be non-starters. Israel has said it will not end the war unless Hamas disarms, something the terror group may be unlikely to agree to. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Two key organizers of the Freedom Convoy that paralyzed Ottawa 3 years ago have been handed 18-month conditional sentences. CTV's Judy Trin breaks down the judge's decision.
Already convicted of mischief, Tamara Leach and Chris Barber, the two main leaders of the Freedom Convoy, arrived to hear their fate.
Lawrence, what do you think will happen today? What are you hoping for?
Hoping that Tamara doesn't go to jail.
A supporter was arrested before the judge even handed down her sentence. The trial has revealed schisms in society over vaccine mandates, but Justice Heather Perkins McVeigh said it did not factor into her decision. Politics has no place in this court and plays no role in the determination of what is a fair, just, and appropriate sentence, she said. For their role as organizers in the 3-week occupation of downtown Ottawa in 2022, both Barber and Leach were given conditional sentences of 18 months. It includes 1 year under house arrest and a curfew after that. Barber helped coordinate the movement of trucks. His lawyer says he won't appeal.
It was a lawful protest. She found that it turned into unlawful because of the blockage of the streets.
The judge took into account more than $55 million in police costs and the lost revenue for businesses, as well as the disruption of community services. But the court also acknowledged that both Barber and Leach did try to limit the footprint of the convoy. Leach had already spent 49 days in jail.
There were many people in the downtown core and businesses that were affected by the Freedom Convoy. She doesn't deny that. The question of was there remorse for what she did? No.
Leach's lawyer says they're still considering appealing her mischief conviction. Meanwhile, both leaders of the Freedom Convoy are facing a civil lawsuit. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
CTV News has learned that at least $100 million of the province's troubled skills development fund went through lobbyists with ties to the premier. As CTV's John Woodward reports, the province's opposition says that doesn't pass the smell test.
We're at FGF Brands.
This is one stop by Premier Doug Ford in 2023 as he showcased Ontario companies like bakery FGF Brands.
Let's give this a taste. Delicious.
Turns out that bakery got a lot of dough from the province's Skills Development Fund, at least $1 million to train its workers, according to provincial records. It hired a lobbying firm called Rubicon Strategy, which said in a filing with the province's lobbyist registry that it would assist FGF Brands Inc. with an application to the Ontario Skills Development Fund program to upskill and train FGF's diverse workforce. That's one example of firms choosing lobbyists to help get grants from the $2.5 billion fund. Funding decisions Ontario's Auditor General found were made by political staff, who often ignored nonpartisan recommendations.
If a consultant has supported an organization, we really want to understand who they are and whether or not there's any conflicts that could be happening there.
CTV News looked at the data. More than $100 million went through lobbyists, and the lion's share of that, at least $82 million, was through Rubicon Strategy. Rubicon is owned by Corey Tenike, who has run Doug Ford's election campaigns and didn't respond to questions from CTV News. Another lobbying firm, Atlas Strategic Advisors, represented clients including restaurant chain Scale Hospitality for at least $17 million in grants. Atlas's Amin Masoudi, who once worked in the Premier's office, said his firm simply helped clients through the process, adding attempting to connect client registrations to funding outcomes is an inaccurate way to measure what firms like ours do and risks misleading readers about the reality of how public policy and funding decisions are made. Labour Minister David Piccini said last week political staff knew best where fund money should be spent.
It's important, and it is changing lives, and it's changing lives for the better, which is why we've seen such incredible support for this program across Ontario.
$100 million going to companies that paid lobbyists that are connected to the Conservative government of Doug Ford. There's something wrong there. Something just doesn't smell right.
In a funding scheme she argues is half-baked. John Woodward, CTV News.
North American stocks finished lower today. In Toronto, the TSX lost 180 points, and in New York, the Dow fell 98, while the Nasdaq dropped 153. The Canadian dollar gained 0.02 and on commodity markets, gold closed above $4,000 an ounce with a $28 gain, and oil dropped 4 cents a barrel. You are not alone. The message from a Humboldt Broncos survivor. A powerful message for the next generation. That story is coming up.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Phil Shire for sending in this lovely sky image. We'll talk whether or not we'll see blue sky. Sunny conditions for the rest of the week and where temperatures are headed. And Thanksgiving. There's a lot on the table, weather-wise, too. Stay with us.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Breezy day out there today. It's time now for us to check in on the weather. Meteorologist Gary Archibald is here with our full look at the forecast. Hi, Gary.
Well, Michelle, we are talking about cooler temperatures, below seasonal conditions across southwestern Ontario. A huge disparity in terms of temperatures for daytime highs and lows over the last 24 to 36 hours. That transition has set up and moved through, so it is indeed much cooler than the high we experienced yesterday. The high yesterday in Windsor was 29. We were talking about temperatures potentially getting down to single digits for lows. So 22 today, that was very early in the morning. We've been descending into the lower teens. The air quality is decent, a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10 on the AQI. The lower the number, the better. We are still gray, we are breezy and cooling some more. 14 degrees at the airport right now. That's 57 degrees Fahrenheit. The winds out of the north sustained at around 20 to 25 K with higher gusts in the 30s. 15 in Chatham-Kent. Similar wind profile. That's 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Gray, windy, and cool. The Prairie's warming up in part. Calgary's up to 21, Regina 19, but the cold air mass envelops Manitoba, the eastern portion there of the Prairies. At 9 degrees is Brandon, so too Winnipeg, 11 in Thunder Bay, and we're looking at 14 in Windsor. Toronto's a much warmer 17. And Montreal's up to 20, 21 in Halifax. So the warmer air is being squeezed towards the Atlantic coast, headed east. It is still breezy tonight through to at least 10, maybe 12 midnight. And we're still looking at the chance of rainfall, perhaps with this passage really slowing down. It's lingering over the Great Lakes. We could see some trailing showers through to midnight before it all tapers off. Okay, so what's in store the next 24 to 48 hours? I'm anticipating residual after or post-frontal showers. Very little in terms of the overall amounts, less than 5 millimeters, but still a chance of showers through to about 10 or 11 tonight. We'll be down to 12 degrees, mostly cloudy at midnight. Take a look at the Enercare 7-day forecast. Sunny tomorrow, and we're looking at 17. Still sunny and cool Thursday and Friday, 16, then 19. The weekend's up to 20, then 21. Fair. Thanksgiving, Monday, 21. And it looks like mostly sunny a week from now on Tuesday. Let's look at your 7-day forecast.
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
A powerful message was shared today about mental health for local high school students. Tyler Smith, a survivor of the 2018 Humboldt Broncos bus tragedy, is in the city today, speaking this morning with students in the Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board's Hockey Academy.
And I regularly get asked that question, why do you keep doing this?
Since surviving that bus crash, Tyler Smith has become an advocate for openness, awareness, and acceptance around mental health issues. His message is simple but powerful. You are not alone. This morning's event was designed to help these young athletes understand the importance of taking care of their mental well-being both on and off the ice. Tonight at the Serbian Center, Smith will be the keynote speaker at the CMHA's event, Check In, Don't Check Out. Smith is on a mission to convince Canadians that reaching out for help is a sign of strength.
Like if your first therapist doesn't work, it's like, okay, well, I don't want to keep trying this. And I think just like understanding that, you know, you're allowed to embrace the good, but you're also allowed to embrace the bad sometimes, and realize that there's resilience attached to that, and there's little things that you can pull from that. So I do think I need help is those 3 words.
Canada has a high level of birth control use. More than 72% of women of reproductive age use birth control. But despite that, we also have a high rate of unplanned pregnancies. Well, now, as CTV's Pauline Chan reports, a growing number of doctors are urging better access to more effective and longer-lasting options.
In Canada, just over 72% of women of reproductive age use some form of contraceptive. Condoms are the most popular, followed by birth control pills. But these methods are known to fail occasionally, and our rate of unplanned pregnancies is 265,000 every year, with 100,000 of those ending in abortion. And Dr. Dustin Kostescu says Canadians do have more reliable methods available.
LARCs are an acronym for long-acting reversible contraceptives. These are a family of birth control options that by definition you need to use or administer less than once per year.
Contraceptives such as IUDs and progestin implants.
We have seen a slow and steady increase in LARC methods. We're at about 7 to 8%, in the country, but that falls behind France, the European Union, and the UK, where you see LARC rates, closer to kind of the 20% range.
Why aren't LARCs as popular? Dr. Kostescu says many women rely on their social networks, their moms or circle of friends, who may not be as knowledgeable about IUDs or implants.
In order to have a LARC placed, in the arm or in the womb, you need access to a healthcare provider. And as we know, there's a shortage of providers.
And even if they are trained, many health providers don't do the procedure because it doesn't pay as much as other services. Unplanned pregnancies cost our healthcare system $320 million a year in prenatal care, neonatal care, as well as miscarriages and abortions. And Kostescu says families with unexpected children face face additional burdens.
The cost of unintended pregnancies actually runs economically into the billions. It costs a lot of money to raise a child to 18, and most of us as parents are raising our children, and supporting them financially far beyond that.
A new report entitled Removing the Roadblocks, Policies to Improve Access to LARCs calls for increased education about LARCs and universal coverage of contraceptives.
Every health system that has implemented universal access to contraception has reaped both cost benefits as well as societal benefits by seeing great reductions in the rates of unplanned pregnancy.
He points to the UK, where he says for every dollar spent on providing contraceptives, $4 are saved in healthcare costs. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Coming up on Windsor's news leader, why Connor McDavid gave up millions of dollars for a better shot at the Cup.
5K a day is back on 93.9 Virgin Radio. Listen to Hannah and Johnny in the morning for your chance to win $5,000
every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
If you're buying a new or used car, you may be pitched something called gap insurance. It can pay off your loan if you owe more than a car is worth. But gap insurance can be expensive, and as one viewer found out, it doesn't cover everything. CTV's Pat Foran explains.
In March of this year, Sujesh Putinvitil of Mississauga bought a 2023 Audi A4. Unfortunately, in June, just 3 months later, the car was stolen.
Middle of the night from my driveway.
With financing, he paid almost $54,000 for the car. Included in the price, he also paid for a 3-year maintenance package, a 6-year extended warranty, and gap insurance. Gap insurance is guaranteed asset protection. In the event your vehicle is totaled or stolen, it pays off your loan if you owe more than your car is worth.
I contacted the gap insurance. So they said they are not going to cover everything.
When the car was stolen, Putinvitil's insurance company paid just over $39,000 for the car, and the gap insurance paid almost $6,400. But there is still an amount owing of $6,900. That's because gap insurance doesn't cover things like warranties and maintenance packages.
Since I haven't used any of them, and I'm using my car only for 3 months, they should refund that to me.
Oftentimes, a lot of those products don't add any value to the vehicle. So if your vehicle is written off, but you owe thousands of dollars for all of the add-ons that you purchased, well, you're on the hook for that.
Car Help Canada says dealerships pitch expensive add-ons that may not be worth buying, and if you do, and your car is written off in an accident or stolen, you might not be reimbursed for them. If you're considering gap insurance, make sure you know what's covered before buying it.
Not only is gap insurance often very overpriced, but it's a product for a problem that should not exist to begin with.
Putinvitil says his dealer offered to refund $600 for the maintenance package, and the warranty company offered him $250. He would still owe $6,000 for a car he no longer has.
Since I owe like $6,000, I don't have any plan to buy a car.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Edmonton Oilers fans are breathing a big sigh of relief after superstar Connor McDavid signed a long-awaited contract extension.
When you see Connor's, it's obvious what he wants, which is he wants to win, and his actions have shown that. I think that's a pretty inspiring thing for a player to see.
The Oilers captain has signed a 2-year deal worth $25 million U.S. But hockey analysts say he could have gotten a lot more.
And that is someone showing that he's committed to winning a Stanley Cup with the Edmonton Oilers, because like everyone discussed, he could be making upwards of $19 million per year.
McDavid will stay in Edmonton for at least the next 3 seasons.
Would you text your ex for $10,000? 89X is back. Listen for the keywords and text your ex. It's never been more rewarding to get back with your ex. Only on Windsor's Alternative, 89X.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Join us October the 23rd at Realtor Park for a magical 3-kilometer walk under the stars to support women and children experiencing intimate partner violence. 100% of proceeds benefit Hiatus House. See you next time on Our Community.
And it's time to check in now on Happening Now with Melanie Kentner joining me at the desk now. And you've got an update on that crazy road construction on Howard Avenue.
Yeah, that's right, Michelle. It's been 7 months, but some of the lane restrictions on Howard Avenue south of Devonshire Mall are now over. The orange barrels remain in front of the mall, but between the stretch of Howard Ave and South Cameron Boulevard is now open. The area was closed while crews worked on removing the railway grade crossing and reworked the road. A brand new crossing on Sydney Avenue connecting the 2 sections of Howard remains closed at this time. And we've got those details online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
All right, and you also have a story of note online for anyone who's got plans to cross the border this Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, that's right. It's good to know what you can and can't bring across the border. The Canada Border Services Agency has some tips for travelers. And those include if you want to make sure your travel documents when you're pulling up and be prepared to declare. Also, heads up, homemade food or leftovers containing turkey can't be brought into Canada. And you can find more tips on our website. And in our social spotlight tonight, a funny moment in the Sunday night game between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. A fan caught the ball in a throwaway. Then this happened.
Nice catch there. He's gone. Milano's going to go. He's in row 10. He's in row 15. He might get a beer. Milano, where are you going, man? It's your moment. Milano, row 40.
So the Bills fan ran away with it, and he didn't stop. He ran all the way up to the concession area as if he was leaving. Maybe he was hoping to keep the football before someone from the stadium could get it from him. The NFL doesn't allow fans to keep the balls because each one has a special chip. And that was Mike Tirico with that hilarious call, Michelle.
That's funny because it definitely looks like he's trying to exit stage left as fast as he can with the ball.
He probably didn't make it that far, though.
Yeah, I didn't realize you weren't allowed to keep a football.
Not like a baseball.
Who knew? All right, want to remind our viewers, you can submit videos like that for our social spotlight. How can people do that?
Yeah, they can email us at newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400.
Awesome. From nurse practitioner to MasterChef contender, Ashley Treadway is cooking up a storm on national TV. We'll bring you her inspiring journey when we return.
The latest news to start your day.
Interviews, conversations with the top officials, the difference makers, and personalities in Windsor, Essex.
Only on Windsor, Essex #1 morning show.
It's Mornings with Mike and Meg on AM 800.
Certainly a gloomy day out there today, Gary, but I'll take it because that heat is gone. Thank you.
Yeah, it's much cooler and still windy. It's likely to be cool through the overnight, and I think there's a good chance we'll see single digits over the next few days for early morning lows. Take a look at our Enercare 7-day forecast. Sunny for the next 3 days straight, in fact, but the high is only 17. Not seeing upper 20s for the next 7 days, and we probably won't see it for the rest of the year, in fact. Of course, it is getting close to the middle of October. 17 followed by 16, then 19, sunny Wednesday through Friday. The weekend, low 20s, 20 to about 21, a mixture of sun and cloud, and then 21, fair weather for Thanksgiving, and 19, mostly sunny a week from now. So it's fall weather as to be expected.
Good. I like it. I'll take it, and the weather looks great for Thanksgiving weekend as well, which is nice. Well, Gary, a nurse practitioner from London is trading her scrubs for a spatula and competing against 14 other home cooks on MasterChef Canada. Ashley Treadway tells our Rita Ismail about a childhood spent cooking out of necessity turned into a passion.
A high-stakes kitchen, celebrity judges, and 15 determined home cooks. That's the setup for MasterChef Canada's season premiere. And among them, Londoner Ashley Treadway.
Was floored. I was shocked. I was super excited. I was really scared and nervous at the same time.
Treadway is a nurse practitioner who says she first learned to cook out of necessity.
My mother was a terrible, terrible cook when I was a kid. It was shake and bake and sidekicks, and she knows that she's going to kill me when this is aired. But it was so disgusting. I started cooking as soon as I could reach this stove. I think I was 10 years old when I started cooking.
Now her go-to dish is anything but basic.
Today I've made a squid ink fettuccine with pan-seared scallops. MasterChef Canada kitchen is surreal. It is really nerve-wracking. You're with a whole bunch of people that you just met, but easily become a family really quickly. So it's my little MasterChef family is what I call them.
In the first episode, contestants face the Black Apron Battle, a pressure test where only 12 earn the coveted white apron and a chance to stay in the competition. For those who stumble, a second chance signature dish could save their spot.
Very proud. She worked so hard to get it. She worked so hard with all the jobs that she does. And to make time, first of all, to cook for a family the way she does, but then to take her passion onto a TV show has been pretty amazing to watch the journey.
Ashley, we'd like to taste your dish next.
And while Treadway hopes to someday publish a cookbook for busy people like herself, for now she's just soaking up the experience.
I think my favorite part of being a part of the MasterChef Canada show was just that I was chosen. Like, I was good enough that the judges and the production team saw it in me that I could compete in that environment. So that's a huge honor.
From her home kitchen and now to national television, Treadway is proving that passion, hard work, and a little heat in the kitchen can go a long way. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Good for her to have such a great attitude about it. You know, I watch MasterChef, and when they're sour grapes, it's not as good as when they're like that.
No, that's true.
You know, hey, I got this far.
I like the seafood. I would be giving her high marks for
High
that
grade?
because it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I really can cook well, seafood.
Oh, really? Yeah. I'm not. I could go on Canada's worst cook.
Oh, boy.
So that
But your
would be...
husband's good.
He is, very much so.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Gary. And on behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you so much for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
I'll be back right here with your only late local newscast tonight at 11.
See you then.